Welcome to Tracking the Cats. Bob Saban here with Steve White. This week we're going to be talking about all things Catamount as far as what's going on in the sports world for Western. Brought to you as always by Stanberry Insurance, located on Main Street in Silva with offices in Highlands and Waynesville now. Be sure any of your insurance needs can be handled through Kevin Stanberry and the good folks at Stanberry Insurance. So, Steve, you're out in Cullowhee. You braved the rain, but it looks like you were in kind of a dry location there.
Yeah, it's undercover. It is definitely. We started about a few minutes before halftime and started getting a light rain. And then it picked up a little bit, but it was never really a serious rain, just a drizzly, little messy. And then got the feel. And then you can see behind me here, Sanford team down there receiving their Southern Conference Championship trophy. And unfortunately, that's the way it ended up. Sanford winning this one 1-0, a breakaway goal right early in the second half, and they held on. Tremendous defense by Sanford. At Western, you can't see the scoreboard from here, but Western 18 shots on goal, Bob. 18 shots on goal, to only four for Sanford, but you don't get points for shots on goal. Sanford wins it 1-0, and therefore gets the NCAA bid to the NCAA tournament. Probably be playing one of the top 10 seeds. Could be Duke, Wake Forest, North Carolina, Virginia Tech. Who knows? Arkansas. Don't know who it'll be, but a very disappointing finish for Western Carolina's soccer team. But gosh, what a season they had. 16 wins, 16 3-3, 14 shutouts this season, which is a Southern Conference record. Only gave up 3 goals the entire season to conference opponents. And like I say, Chad Miller, another back to back tremendous seasons. And I think maybe this is just the start of a great soccer tradition here at Western Carolina University. You know, we've won before, but it's been a big lapse in there, but 12, 14 years between championships. And of course, we won it all last year and won the regular season this year. But again, very disappointing finish. Western just so many opportunities in the second half, but just the ball just did not want. Yeah, give Sanford a lot of credit. They did a great job defensively in the second half. They went into their defensive mode. They really didn't care about getting the ball over midfield. They just wanted to stop Western.
Yeah, their keeper did an amazing job. She had 8 saves. We were solid, just kept pounding it. I watched about the last third of the game on ESPN Plus, and it was, we dominated. We had our chances. We had some amazing shots, and their keeper just was really strong. Our keeper, Leanne Trudell, just she didn't have to work that hard other than clearing the ball out
That's
occasionally.
exactly it.
Um,
Yeah. Only four for shots on goal. Yeah.
Yep. It was fun to watch. It was very frustrating because by the time I tuned in, we were already down, and the ladies were working really hard. I mean, you had Marcille, who's been solid 2 years in a row now. DeMarco, she had 5 shots. So yeah, it was a pretty good game. The one thing that I heard towards the end of the match, that one of the guys who has been an Atlanta United, I'm a huge Atlanta United supporter. Jason Longshore was the color person on the broadcast on ESPN. Great guy. I've had a few conversations with him. He said there's a long shot that we might be able to get an at-large bid, but I don't know. I don't ever count on the NCAA to give a break to any of but the Power Five schools when it comes to these
Yeah.
playoffs.
You're exactly right, Bob. And again, it's sort of like, the same thing in baseball, basketball, and football. They're hard to come by. Of course,
Yep.
there's
Yep.
yeah. So, but yeah, it's again just disappointing. But I tell you, the credentials that this Western Carolina team has, especially the defensive end, who knows what could happen? But I'm not sure anybody's counting on it. But it would be a very nice surprise and a great reward for this team.
Yep, yep, they certainly deserved it the way they played throughout the season and how powerful they were on the field with the Southern Conference opponent. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happens there. But looking at the rest of the Catamount Nation this weekend, the other bright spot is ladies basketball. I don't know if you know, but
Yes, 3 and
we just
0.
picked
Yeah.
up our third win this afternoon. We were behind with 2 minutes left. We were down 1 point, and the ladies came back and won. Was it 55 to 52, I think, or 65-62? I'll have to
Yeah.
pull it up. But yeah, they're looking pretty good for what, brand new team, brand new coach. Pretty pleased with the way they've started.
Yeah, Coach Sippis has seemed to have them on the right step right now, the right steps forward. This is, like I say, the first win you couldn't really tell. That was over Warren Wilson, and I think you
Right.
and I might could have beat them, Bob. No, no, I'm not saying that. But a very solid win
Good one.
over Campbell. Campbell got a solid program down there, and you've maybe said, well, it was we were playing here, and that was maybe the difference. But a win over Radford at Radford, that is a significant win, and that's got to
Yes.
have that team fired up. And now people will maybe start taking notice a little bit about our women's basketball program.
It's been such a struggle the last few years, and we've had good coaches, just haven't been able to put everything together. Um, but yeah, Sipsa seems to have us on the right start. We got three strong ladies showing scoring potential, very balanced between Taj Hunter, who's a true freshman coming in from Atlanta, Jada Burton, Spartanburg native. She's a transfer from community college, and then our Georgia Tech transfer, AC Carter. All three of
Yeah.
those ladies have scored very well and about the same amount of scoring over the first three games. So hopefully that's a good heart of this team.
Well, I tell you, it is. It's very encouraging and so forth. So that's again, they go on the like I say, they're at the road. They've got a little tough road trip coming up Wednesday. They got to go to Oklahoma, and of course, Oklahoma
Yeah,
will be coming here next year. That's very interesting. Yeah,
yeah, it's exciting to see a big school. We hopefully we'll get a good crowd on that when they come
yeah,
back.
right.
Um, but that's a big wish to do well. But we'll see how they do.
Yeah, yeah. The crowd's sort of leaving now. Sanford taking their spoils of victory here away with them, unfortunately. And yeah, but like I say again, quite a run by Western Carolina's women's soccer team. But again, we just hope that there's something magical will happen and they'll get that at-large bid. But we'll just have to wait and see. That I think that comes up tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock is when they make the announcements.
Okay, I'm making note of that, and we'll be tuned in. Taking a look at men's basketball. Did you get a chance to see either of the games this week, Bob Jones, when they were in town, or
Yes,
and I you didn't
saw the
get down to
Bob
Charlotte,
Jones
did you?
and saw a lot of the clips from the Queens game, and of course you couldn't tell that the Bob Jones game is one of those games where they come in here and again maybe me and you and a couple of others. And I'm not going to say that,
Yeah,
but
it's
anyway,
always one of those at the beginning of the season. We played Piedmont and Anderson before, so
yes,
anyway.
yeah. Yeah, but then Queens Friday night did not shoot well at all. I think we only made three pointers in the entire game. I got a
Mm,
great performance from Bernard Belote inside, a double double for him. But again, guard play wasn't what we were used to seeing, especially with the guys that we lost from last year's team. We're used to seeing those 3 pointers going up at about 15 plus a game, and I'm not sure that's going to happen
yeah.
this season. But it's a work in progress, Bob. Right now, I really like the style that they're playing. They're very quick. He's playing 10 or 12 players a game, and but again, and I'm impressed with our inside people. Vernon Collins in there, for example, and Pelote. Really, Vernon, a transfer from Princeton. He won't have any
Right.
problem with his grades, that's for sure. But from down in
Thought the
Eastern North
same thing
Carolina,
when I read that.
but these guys can actually catch the ball and score. So now we just got to work on the 3 point part of it from our guards. But again, trying to decide on a starting lineup right now, I'm sure is a challenge for Coach Kraft. And like I said, it's going to be a work in progress. I'm predicting probably mid January before you really see the true Western Carolina men's basketball team once they get in a couple of games into the conference schedule because they've got a tough schedule coming up. We got our next three games after Truett McConnell here. I think we play them Wednesday here in Cullowhee. And then we've got Wake Forest, Florida State, and Marquette. Wake and Marquette on the road. Florida State is actually in the
On the
Asheville at
road
the
now
Harrah's
too.
we call the
They've
Asheville
moved
Civic
that.
Center. Yeah,
They've
reschedule it
moved
for
that. Yep.
yeah Tuesday before Thanksgiving. That in other words, a week
In
from Tuesday.
Tallahassee. In
Pardon?
Tallahassee. In
Oh, I thought they were
Tallahassee.
going to play it in. Oh, they've rescheduled it down there. I thought they said they were going to play it in Asheville. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yep, it was supposed to be in Asheville, and they moved it down there because the Harris Center won't be ready yet, or at
Right, that's
least the
right. The water, I guess
facilities
so.
won't be
That's
ready.
right.
Yeah.
I was somebody misinformed me then, said it was going to be in Asheville, but they've got a tough. Then they got Tennessee before Christmas, a tough pre holiday schedule for the Catamounts. But again, I'm saying give them mid January, and I think you'll see some improvements. And like I say, only one player returning from last season's team, Bernard Pelote. Marcus Kell was on the team, but he did not play last season because of the injury and a couple of guys on the bench who saw no action at all. So it's just like starting a program from scratch for Coach Graft right now. Sure is.
Well, Cal has had a fairly decent start as far as scoring is concerned, so
Yeah,
hopefully he can step up. And I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. I'm going to get up to Cullowhee for a few games. So down here, they're not playing Kennesaw. They're not playing till we get into the conference season. Maybe able to get down to Mercer or up to Chattanooga, hour and a half drive. So
very good. Very good.
that'll be good. I guess we should move to the huge disappointment for the weekend.
Uh, the I'm just still in a little bit of mourning right now from yesterday. I did make it to the game, Bob, over at Johnson City, but I
You
did
did or
watch
did
I did watch some of it. I was down with the baseball team yesterday afternoon. We had a great benefit situation yesterday. The Little League fields here in Jackson, well, not Jackson County, but Haywood County and Buncombe County were hit hard by the floods. Well, actually, four Little League complexes were completely dismantled. They don't exist anymore. Everything from all their equipment, everything in the stands, they were just wiped out. So we had a benefit, people bringing in equipment yesterday. A couple of my buddies that here, when I was in school at Western Carolina, fellow baseball players brought 200 baseball donations, a bunch of gloves
oh,
and bats, and I think we raised over $10,000 yesterday for those little league programs. Plus, on
oh,
top of
God
that,
bless them.
Bob,
That's great.
the Catamounts split with Appalachian State, winning the first game big and then losing the second game. Coach Beck, playing all of his players, but I was very impressed with what I saw out there with Western Carolina's baseball team. So looking
That's
forward to
great. We
that.
got something to looking forward to for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
that's going to be a lot of fun next spring.
I had a birthday party with my oldest grandson who turned 6 yesterday, and so I only saw the first half of the game, and I could have tuned in on my phone with ESPN Plus and kind of walk around and talk to people, and I decided not to when I saw that we were down at halftime, and we just weren't playing like we have the last couple of weeks. What did you
I've
think?
seen more mistakes in that game, I think, in any two or three games combined this season. A lot of some undisciplined plays, just some bad play. And another thing about it, Bob, is Chattanooga was not prepared for Tyler Dickens. Taryn, we call him Ty. His middle name is Tiger. They
Right.
sort of caught Chattanooga by surprise. East Tennessee was well prepared. We're not going to let him get outside the boundary. Kept him sort of contained, sacked him, I think, six times, forced a couple of turnovers, and we just made some bad plays. The shank punt out of the end zone was big. A couple of penalties, just guys not thinking. Several little things that could have made a huge difference. That game was there for the taking, and we just did not do it. So if you see a way a path to the playoffs, I don't know what it is right now because probably unrealistic to think that we have a chance. But we've got to play like we do because, like I say, anything can happen. Chattanooga and East Tennessee both lose a ball game. I think that could put it
Right.
back. We're right back in there if we could beat VMI next week and then Sanford on the road the following week. Anything can happen. So 7 wins would look at it and you say, okay, look at your resume there, and when you look at our schedule, and some of it, it's a possibility, but again, an outside chance. And Bob, I'm just running out of time here to see the Catamounts win some kind of championship, a conference championship. Of course, it's been 19 since 1949 that we've won a conference championship, the old
Yeah.
North State Conference. Been close so many times, and the pain that I've gone through watching us lose those championship opportunities. I
I
told
was
Coach
telling
Bell
some
last week
Go ahead.
that I'm running out of time, and he says, asked me how old I was, and he says, "Yeah, we better pick it up real quick." So, so,
Well,
so
I was telling somebody yesterday at the birthday party about the last time we should have been conference champions in when we went to the playoffs in '83,
yeah,
and
83. Yeah,
we actually had to play Furman a second time.
yeah, that's
Played
right.
that year, played them in the playoffs, and when we won at Greenville, we tore down their goalpost.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that's something when you go undefeated and you do not win the conference championship. And that was just a scheduling
yeah,
blip where Furman had one more
one
game
more.
than us. VMI was coming back into the conference, and that shouldn't have happened that way, but it did, and so forth. But got an idea for bunch of my buddies. We're going to come up with a bumper sticker for football season next year. It said, "Win one for Whitey."
I like that.
And
Oh boy.
and the bottom line under that in small letters with time's running out.
Well, yesterday, eh, from looking at the paper, we had the stats. We're
Yes, we did.
5 minutes to go. We're still up. We still have the shot to win it.
Right.
We had more yards running. We had more. They had one more first down than we did, but we played an acceptable game on paper. But when you look at the stupid things that happened and the plays that we gave up on defense, it was very frustrating to me to watch. And I guess I'm almost afraid to hear the coaches show tomorrow night and hear
Yeah.
what Kerwin's got to say.
Yeah. He's going to
'Cause
have plenty to say, Bob. That's for sure, because there was a lot of mistakes in that ball game, and it's just it's really hard to put your finger on. There was just so many key moments in that ball game that could have made a difference, and like I
yeah,
say, that last 5 minutes, really some things that happened that shouldn't have. But here again, like I say, we're not shutting the door on a playoff bid, but boy, I tell you, we're going to have to get our fingers in there to keep it from them slamming it on our fingers. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah. Did you see? I know that Campbell was up on Richmond yesterday. Do you know if they were able to close that
No,
out?
yeah, they kicked a field goal on the last play of the ball game. 1 second to play, Richmond beat them. Yeah.
Ah, jeez.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Because I was hoping that maybe the end of the season, Campbell picking things up and saying, "Hey,
yeah.
we really do. We're not that bad,"
No,
But
no,
but
no.
they're
But
still stuck at 3 wins.
that game right there was as a key. It'll be a thorn in our side for a long time. Losing that
Yeah,
game, that put the monkey on our back, so to speak, right there.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it means that there's no way we can get to 8-4. So,
Right, right.
oh well, we've got two more VMI. You want to hope they always play us well, but if we can keep our heads together
Yeah.
and the coaches have the guys playing right, we should be able to pull
We
out
should be able. And
that win.
then we go down to Sanford, Bob, and the last time we beat Sanford in Birmingham, 55 years ago,
I know.
1969. Now, we didn't play them for like 20 some years stretch in there, but 1969 is the last time we've won down there. We've beaten them here in Cullowhee, but not in Birmingham. It's a jinx. I can't put my finger on that jinx.
No, I've been to 3 of the last 4 games there,
Yeah.
maybe 4 of the last 5.
Yeah.
And, oh, what was the one? I guess it was like 2018 when we were down there, and it was like 27 nothing at the end of the first quarter.
Right.
And we thought we had a really good shot. We were
Yeah.
playing well, we had a good team, and so,
Yeah.
yeah, I've we can do it. Sanford's should I say it on the air? Sanford's awful this year.
Well,
Not as bad as Furman, but they got beat pretty badly yesterday.
they're not very good. I'll say that. I'll give them
Yeah,
benefit of the doubt. They're not very
yeah,
good this season. Not the Sanford that
yeah,
we've played in the past.
yeah, yeah. Um, one other thing before we wrap this up, volleyball did take 1 out of 2 this weekend,
Yes, they did.
um, and the UNCG yesterday. What are you thinking about their season? It's been disappointing for sure.
Oh, they've had a lot of things, a lot of misfortune, injuries, and so forth, and it was they lost the core elements of that team from last season, which was a very, very, very good team. And again, it was just a work in progress for Coach Glover this season, and I'm sure they'll be back next season. But very disappointing season for them, and a lot of factors that she had no control over. That's for sure.
Right. Okay. Well, you got any parting thoughts for us there, Steve, other than a new bumper sticker next year?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I tell you one thing, even though the rain maybe created a few problems here in the second half, it's something we needed here in Cullowhee. We haven't had a decent rainfall since the hurricane, almost a month ago. We had 9 inches in one day, and we haven't had a drop since then. So that's about the only thing good that I see out here this afternoon is the rainfall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
The
Well,
field got just a little bit slick. This is a great playing field here. I tell you, they do a wonderful job of maintaining this, and it's got to be if the best in the Southern Conference. But again, like I say, very disappointing day, and I think the rain just sort of that's what happened. It rained on our parade.
well, I did see several
Yeah.
women get hit the ground and they had to pause for several of the ladies went down and had injury timeout several times in the second half. And like, yes. All right, Steve, we're going to wrap things up here. I appreciate you. We will be back in 2 weeks with the next Tracking the Cats podcast brought to you by Stanberry Insurance in Silva. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.